John chapter 20. The resurrection. Early on Sunday morning, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and found the stone had been rolled away from the entrance. So she ran and found Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one whom Jesus loved. She said, "They have taken the Lord's body out of the tomb, and we do not know where they have put him." Peter and the other disciple started out for the tomb. They were both running, but the other disciple ran out Peter and reached the tomb first. He stooped and looked in and saw the lion's wrappings lying there, but he did not go in. Then Simon Peter arrived and went inside. He also noticed the lion's wrappings lying there, while the cloth had covered Jesus' head was folded up and lying apart from the other wrappings. Then the disciple who had reached the tomb first also went in, and he saw and believed. For until they still hadn't understood the scriptures that Jesus said must rise up from the dead. Then they went home. Jesus appears to Mary Magdalene. Mary was standing outside of the tomb, crying, and as she wept, she stood and looked in. She saw two white-robed angels, one sitting at the head of another, and had foot of the place where the body of Jesus had been lying. "Dear woman, why are you crying?" the angels asked her. "Because they have taken the Lord's body away," she replied, "and I don't know where they put him." She turned to leave as someone standing there. It was Jesus, but she did not recognize him. "Dear woman, why are you crying?" Jesus asked her. "Who are you looking for?" She thought that he was the gardener. "Sir," she said, "if you have taken him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will go and get him." "Mary," Jesus said. She turned to him and cried out, "Rabbi," which means teacher for Hebrew. "Don't cling to me," Jesus said, "for I have not ascended to the Father, but I will go and find my brothers and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and you, Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene found the disciples, told them, "I have seen the Lord." Then she gave them this message. Jesus appears to his disciples. That Sunday evening, the disciples were meeting behind locked doors because they were afraid the Jewish leaders. Suddenly, Jesus was standing there among them. "Peace be with you," he said. As he spoke, he showed them the wounds in his hands and in his side. They were filled with joy when they saw the Lord. Again, he said, "Peace be with you, as the Father has sent me, so I am sending you." Then he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive anyone's sins, they are forgiven. If you do not forgive them, they are not forgiven. Jesus appears to Thomas. One of the 12 disciples, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, was not with the other disciples when Jesus came. But they told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I won't believe unless I see the nails in his wounds and in his hands. Put my finger into them and place my hand into his wounds in his side." 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them, and the doors were locked. But suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. "Peace be with you," he said. Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and look at my hand. Put your hand into the wound in my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe." "My Lord and my God," Thomas exclaimed. Then Jesus told him, "You believe because you have seen me. Blessed are those who believe without seeing." Promises from the book. The disciples saw Jesus doing many other miraculous signs, in addition to the ones recorded to his book. But these are written so that you may continue to believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing in him, you will live by the power of his name.